Hey, She 2.0. I wanted to answer your members' question here live in regards to finding that certain foods that you used to be able to eat no problem, but now that you're in perimenopause or menopause, you're finding those foods are just not sitting quite right anymore. And this can be felt through things like indigestion or bloating, constipation, even itchy skin, and even maybe some hot flashes. Nonetheless, it leaves many of us super confused because you're like, I used to eat this no problem. And then now, why is it affecting me? Well, we can put the reason on various things, but number one, as we all know, the big player is, of course, hormones, and specifically the changing in our estrogen causes our digestive system to really slow down its motility. And that means it's just not doing its job as quick as it used to. It can also lead to some stress on our liver, which obviously produces our bile and is our main filtration system. It could be not feeding into our good bacteria, and the change in our hormone levels also affects our stomach acid production. And it's our stomach acid that helps break down that food so it can be filtered and spread out through our rest of our system. But if we don't have the natural enzymes in our microbiome to break down that food, then again, we feel those adverse effects, even if we've been eating the food no problem in years before. So what can we do about it? I'm going to give you guys 5 things. So number one is to identify the culprits. Okay, sometimes that's easier said than done. If you don't know, I recommend keeping a food journal and just seeing if there's some triggers that pop up for you. The biggest thing is obviously processed foods. The MSG, the nitrates, and the sulfates are big players and really tax our liver from doing its job. And if it's busy doing something else, it's not helping our GI system and breaking down and filtering all our nutrients that we need. So identifying the culprits, that's number one. Number two is obviously to help boost gut motility. And we can do that not by running to the store and grabbing your friendly probiotic, but actually looking at prebiotic and feeding the good bacteria that you already have in your microbiome. And that can be done with things like kefir, temph, miso soup, even a sauerkraut, okay? Anything that has a prebiotic benefit, feeding that probiotic, that's again helping us break down that food. Number 3 is to love up on your liver. Everyone's like, but I thought it was just about our gut. Your liver plays a big role when it comes to food sensitivities, if you will, and that feeling of indigestion and not being able to process things like you used to. So again, overtaxing your liver with things like environmental stressors for sure. Number one other thing, I'm sorry, is alcohol. Okay, your liver will spend a lot of time trying to filter and dilute that alcoholic consumption. So just being conscious and aware of that. And again, if it's busy doing one thing, it's not going to be helping doing another. The 4th thing is to move our bodies. Recent studies have shown that we are actually sitting more than we're sleeping, which is crazy to think about. So moving your bodies obviously can help with circulation and that gut motility to get your digestive system doing what it's meant to do, getting circulation to the system to help in blood flow. The last thing to look at is stress. Good old stress. And here's the reality. When our stress increases and that cortisol hormone, one of our key stress hormones increases, then our digestive system slows down. It's a survival mechanism. It makes sense. When we're in that fight or flight or freeze mode, your brain is telling everything to conserve energy and to slow down. So taking an honest look at where you are in your stress cycle. And we cover this in my group. If you want any more information, we're actually doing a challenge, no more of a challenge, but a reset coming up here in the next few weeks, talking about where you are in your stress loop and how you're not there to manage it, but how we can just build resiliency and accommodate the stressors in our life. Okay, depending on, again, where you are in that stress loop. But it's having an honest look at what you're doing for yourself and where you are with stress. But cortisol is a big player when it comes to your food sensitivities and your hormone levels. If you have any questions, let me know, and hopefully that answers your member's question.